Christian Pulisic can't stop scoring, can't stop being an absolute star in Serie A, but the USMNT friendlies are coming up. Pochettino's getting his first opportunity to coach this American starlet. Now we got to talk about how is Pochettino, because we know who the best player on the team is. How is he going to build this team around Christian Pulisic?
I mean, this is a problem that Berhalter had too, you know? Like, how do you build it in a way where you get the most out of Christian Pulisic, but also get the most out of every other player?
Right.
I don't think that's that easy, right?
Yeah.
Because you could play Christian Pulisic across essentially 3 positions. You can play him on the left winger where he played at Dortmund and he played at Chelsea. You can play him centrally, which I know they tried at the beginning of the season for Serie A. Seems like he's most effective on the right-hand side for them. So can you put him in place of, like, say, a Tim Weah, who typically plays up there for the men's national team? Whatever the case may be, is you need to have a center. I think you need to have a center that can play almost as a center forward, or is just good at link, 1-2s. You know what I mean? Doesn't necessarily have to have his back to goal like a Giroud, although he played really well with a player like Giroud. You need someone that can sort of play along with him, passing him into spaces, 1-2s with him, link ups. And I think that means Balogun. So if you're going to have Balogun being, your center forward, right?
Who's injured,
you're 9.
Unfortunately, for these friendlies, yeah.
But a player like him, right? Maybe Brandon Vasquez could be a little bit more of back to goal, maybe.
Okay.
Josh Sargent maybe could do that with him with the 1-2s. I think Balogun is probably, everyone healthy, they're probably the guy you start there in that place. Then how do you free him up to do more? You need someone like a Sergiño Dest, who's also injured. So it's a difficult proposition, right? Because you want someone who is good enough to go forward, create space for Christian Pulisic, create the opportunity for Christian Pulisic to be a bit more advanced, a bit more of a goal threat, but can also track back and defend.
Okay. So this is my thought as far as what the USMNT looks like around Pulisic. I mean, we know look right now in Serie A, he is arguably, we've had this conversation on the Cooligans plenty of times. Like, is he Serie A's best player right now? And
he's certainly the most informed player. You can't deny that.
And there's clearly some a player scoring more goals, but there's just something to he is arguably the best player on his own team. Maybe not in Serie A, but like as far as the best player on their own team, it's wild to see just because we're not used to seeing it. An American player being so dominant just in any foreign league, right? But what needs, I think, to happen around Pulisic is, you're mentioning this like link up play, but the US is not really like a link up team, even under Berhalter.
No, but we did it under BJ Callahan and Nations League.
Okay, but this is what I kind of envision. I think of the goal that Tyler Adams scored against Mexico, right? From outside the box, just a banger and stuff like that. And I think Christian Pulisic, for the team to be stronger, there needs to be more space created by midfielders that are a threat to score. So when Tyler Adams is a threat and the defensive mid on the opposing team or a center back
to check in
has to be like, oh, they might take a crack from out here. Like, that's why I would love if Yunus Musa was a more of a dangerous a scoring threat.
But can you even play Yunus Musa, who's not even getting on the pitch?
And that's the frustrating part, where like I think his confidence is as far as Yunus Musa, his confidence is like eroding a little bit when he plays on the national team, because he's just clearly not getting the minutes. But if we just had that more space, just even if it a yard or two for Pulisic, because there are
Can
other
I take your theory and advance it? Because I like where your head's at.
Go for it.
All right. Maybe the threat doesn't come from throwing jabs like a Tyler, taking some shots from far away, thinking we got to check up. Because there's also a chance that the other manager says, like, hey, let them take shots from out there. They're really low probability. Don't even check up. Stay down. They're doing that because they're scared. They can't get in the box. What if it's the other thing? What if the person who has the ball centrally, just rotating and roaming around the top of the box, is such a threat with fancy footwork and potential passes that you have to get close. You have to get tight. So it's not because of shots, because how good they are on the ball. And that guy's name is Gio Reyna.
Yes, another injured player.
Uh-huh.
So we're basically saying if we could just heal.
Yeah. If we had Wolverines.
Wolverine, just Logan type superpowers to heal from your own injuries.
But even if he wasn't injured, he's also not getting real minutes with Dortmund.
Yeah.
So at some point, as much as I'm with all the former national team players who have said it, and all the people who are like, you got to play people who are in form. We need players that are in form and getting real minutes with their club. Even if you do that, there will be opportunities for players who aren't getting real minutes at their clubs to be influential. Now, it doesn't mean that you put them in automatically. But if there was a way, there's a real question for Pochettino. Do I play someone like a Gio Reyna who has an insane amount of talent, but can't seemingly get on the pitch?
Yeah. So it's a bigger a problem than just like it'd be nice if just everyone was healthy and we could just kind of pick the best players, but we have to kind of mix and match for any given window to see what works. I can't wait for the moment, and it's disappointing that in this window, Balogun is not there. We're not going to really see kind of the best available players and for Pochettino to work with. And it just feels like, I hope it's not 2-3 windows before we see like the strongest team.
Balogun being in such good form. He scored 3 goals in 3 matches, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But he hurt himself celebrating a goal.
I mean, what luck that we have.
So I don't think we answered the question specifically, but I think the only way really is to make sure that Christian Pulisic, being your best player, is surrounded by the talent that makes him shine and puts him in the best position and gives him the most space.
Okay.
I mean, however that is, hey, we didn't get paid by U.S. Soccer to figure that part out.
No more injuries, guys. I think that's probably that's been the issue, that they haven't been told to stop getting injured.
Right. So instead of Pochettino, we should have hired a physio.
Okay. Heal up, gentlemen. All right. So all of this and
Get
more.
some rest. Chicken soup.
Shout out to everybody watching on OneFootball. Go subscribe to the Cooligans here on YouTube as well if you want some hilarious footy takes, because we got a lot of that to offer.